Dave Palumbo here with an RxMuscle rant. Today's topic, Shawn Rhoden. Everyone blasting the hell out of this guy, myself included. I have to admit, I'm not gonna take a back seat to this, but you know, I had a little bit more of an open mind than I think a lot of people did, but blasting Shawn Rhoden at that guest posing he did at the Pittsburgh. Shawn Ray probably one of the people that really, hit him really hard, and people felt that this guy was not going to be ready for the Olympia, that he was a disgrace to bodybuilding, la-da-da-da-da-da-da. How could he, do this to himself and the sport? I mean, I couldn't even believe the uproar and the YouTube videos that were being done. Probably more YouTube videos were done on Shawn Rhoden's guest posing at that Pittsburgh Pro than anything we'd seen all year. And what is it now? That was in May, so it's April. So 2 months later, and Shawn Rhoden posts this new picture on his page. A lot of people, we reposted this morning on RxMuscle, and a lot of people contacted me saying, oh, that's got to be an old picture of Shawn Rhoden. So I went right to my source, obviously Chris Aceto, who is doing the contest prep for Shawn. And Chris did indeed validate that this, and with Shawn as well, that this is a recent picture of Shawn. He might look better than we've ever seen him here. He's big, he's hard. Now, granted, the side chest is a very good shot for him. It's not a back double bicep shot, but I mean, this is a different bodybuilder than we saw 2 months ago. I mean, this just goes and shows you what great genetics and work ethic Shawn has when he puts his mind to something. Now, that's not condoning what he did. That's not saying, hey, you know what, it's okay. Shawn's got great genetics. He doesn't have to train hard all year. I still think that had he continued to train hard the entire year and not gotten that out of shape, he wouldn't have had to go to extreme measures to look like he does now. And who knows, maybe he would have been even better, right? Ronnie got better every year. Dorian got better every year. I mean, Shawn might just be the same as he was last year, and that probably will be good enough to win. And if Shawn wins, in the history books, no one will even remember that guest posing ever, because they'll just say, Shawn Rhoden won 2 Olympias, and that, or however many Olympias he winds up winning. Chris Aceto and I discussed this before. Shawn has a really strong work ethic once he puts his mind to something, and once he says, okay, that's it, no more distractions, I'm going to work. This guy won the Mr. Olympia last year. Not only did he win the Mr. Olympia, he won $400,000. Okay, everyone always neglects the money, and people say, oh, it's not about the money. It's always about the money. Because let's face it, this is Shawn's legacy. He's 44 years old at this point. He has to put money in the bank for his family, so he can start businesses after his bodybuilding is over. We don't know how many years he's got left. He might have 1 more year. He might have 5 more years. We don't know. He could be like Dexter. He could have 20 more years. We don't know that for sure. But what we do know is that Shawn Rhoden wants to win this Olympia. And you can tell by the fact that he's made these changes to his physique. He's training hard in the gym. He's back with Charles Glass. I'm sure Charles is pushing him hard. He's got other people in the gym pushing him hard. He's obviously eating right. He's doing his cardio. And it just shows that when this guy does everything right, his body cooperates with him and his body responds. And he's lucky that he has that ability to do that, because other people couldn't bounce back that quickly. But this should shut up all the naysayers. It shut up all the people who think that he's washed up, that he's not going to win the Olympia, that, hey, I'm here. You got to beat me, guys, now, because I'm Mr. Olympia. And whether, Phil Heath comes back or not, I don't think it even matters at this point. It's all about Shawn Rhoden. Can Shawn Rhoden be as good as he was last year, if not a little better? If he is, I say he wins the Olympia. If not, the door is open for whoever else shows up, whether it be Phil or Kai or any of the guys like Brandon Curry or Ruli Winkler, or even if Big Ramy somehow manages to get to the Olympia this year. These are all guys that, will be challenging for that title, but they're going to have to beat Mr. Olympia. And Mr. Olympia has just posted a picture on his Instagram saying, I'm ready, guys, come get me. And I still got 10 weeks to prepare. So that's a long time. So Shawn is going to get better and better and better into the show. And obviously we know with Chris Aceto guiding him, he's not going to misstep at this point. I think his distractions have been reduced to nothing at this point, and he is focused on this Olympia. He's going to Golds every day. We know that. We see him in there. He's there with Charles Glass, so he's got supervision. He's like a kid who's at school every day. He's not off on his own, playing hooky. And that's really what Shawn needs. Once he has focus like that, he's hard to pull away from that, and he's distraction free, and he can focus on what he wants to do, which is to win that Mr. Olympia again. And we know that if Shawn wins the Olympia this year, that will validate that last year was not a fluke, it was not a mistake, that he is a legitimate Olympia guy, and that he's a real champion. And, you know, Jay Cutler, you know, won 4 Olympias. If Shawn were to win this year, it would certainly put him in line to win a couple more, because, I mean, let's face it, who's around who's going to beat him? You know, Brandon Curry is good, but Brandon Curry doesn't have Shawn Rhoden's legs. And you got to have legs to win the Olympia. That's always been a Mr. Olympia trademark. So it's going to be a great show this year. I'm glad that Shawn's back. I'm glad that he's feels confident to put that picture up. And I'm sure we're going to hear a million people's commentary over the next week or so based on this one picture. And that's what's so great about bodybuilding and social media. We can argue and we can debate, and at the bottom line, it all doesn't matter. All that matters is what these guys look like up on that stage on Olympia weekend. I'm Dave Palumbo with a Redcon 1 RxMuscle rant.